Hi everyone! Welcome to our session on innovation and stakeholders. In today's workplace, innovation doesn't happen in a bubble. It happens in a network, and that network includes people, teams, organizations, all of whom are called stakeholders. Stakeholders can support, delay, or even derail a project. That's why identifying them early and planning how to engage them is a critical part of successful innovation. So today, we'll unpack what stakeholders are, how to identify them, and how to build effective relationships through stakeholder analysis. Let's start with a clear definition. A stakeholder is any individual, group, or organization that can affect or be affected by a business, project, or decision. They might be inside the organization, like employees or managers, or outside, like customers, suppliers, or even government bodies. Stakeholders aren't just passive observers. Their actions, opinions, and resources can play a big role in the success or failure of what you're trying to achieve. Before you start reaching out, you need to identify who your stakeholders are. This is a foundational step. Why? Because different stakeholders have different interests, levels of influence, and preferred ways of communication. You can't build a solid engagement plan unless you know who you're dealing with. After identifying them, you can begin building a communication strategy tailored to their needs, interests, and concerns. The clearer your map, the smoother your journey. Stakeholders come in many forms. Let's look at some of the most common ones. Internal employees. These are your staff members who directly contribute to or are affected by projects. Members, people formally affiliated with the organization, e.g. board members, union representatives. Suppliers, external partners who provide materials, products, or services. Customers, including both consumers, those who use the product, and shareholders, those who own part of the company. Regulators, government bodies or legal entities that enforce standards. Communities, especially local ones affected by your operations. Trade associations, industry groups or alliances that represent collective interests. Example, a retail company opening a new store might deal with employees for staffing, suppliers for inventory, local councils for permits, and nearby residents who might be concerned about noise or traffic. Now that we know stakeholders are anyone who can affect or be affected by your project, let's look at how to identify them properly. Start by asking these questions. Who are the end users? These are the people who will actually use the final product or service. Who are the suppliers? They provide the materials, services, or tools you need. Who is impacted by this project? This could be internal staff, customers, or even the surrounding community. These questions help you look beyond the obvious and spot everyone who might need to be on your radar. We are not done yet. Keep digging deeper by asking, who could help resolve issues regarding the project? Maybe it's a team leader, a technician, or even a consultant. Who is in charge of acquiring the resources? Think of people who manage budgets, tools, or people allocation. Who has special skills that are essential to the project? These are your subject matter experts. You'll definitely want them involved. Remember, good stakeholder identification starts with good questions. Here's a helpful tip. Run a brainstorming session with your team to ask the following. Who are the end users? Who are the suppliers? Which parties are affected by the project? Who influences the stakeholders? Which individuals have specialist skills central to the project? Who can solve any issues with the project? Who has the authority to assign or acquire resources or facilities for the project? Who makes the financial decisions? By running this as a group activity, you'll uncover different perspectives and ensure no important stakeholder is missed. So, you've asked all the right questions and identified a full list of stakeholders. Now comes the next step, understanding them. Not all stakeholders are equal. Some are powerful decision makers. Some might resist change. Some simply need to be kept informed. That's why we move into something called stakeholder analysis. This analysis helps you see where each stakeholder stands, understand their level of influence and interest, and plan how to manage and communicate with them throughout your project. Stakeholders fall into two categories. Primary stakeholders. These are individuals or groups directly impacted by the organization's activities. Think employees, customers, investors. Secondary stakeholders. These are indirectly affected. For example, media, local communities, NGOs, or even competitors. Example, a hotel upgrading its booking system will directly affect front desk staff, primary, but may indirectly affect local tourism authorities who promote the hotel, secondary. Understanding these roles helps you prioritize who to engage with more intensively. Well, remember, stakeholder analysis is most valuable at the very beginning, during the project's preparation phase. Why? Because that's when you're still planning your strategy, allocating resources, and shaping your communication. If you wait too long, it may be too late to manage certain relationships effectively. But here's something important. Stakeholder analysis isn't just a one-time task. People's opinions can change. New stakeholders can appear. That's why it's useful to revisit your analysis throughout the project, especially at key stages or when big changes are introduced. Alright, let's talk about the real-world benefits of doing stakeholder analysis. Why bother? Here's why. It allows for a greater understanding of any potential risks. By knowing who's involved and what they care about, you can predict where problems might pop up before they actually do. It provides a detailed understanding of stakeholder interests and attitudes. You're not just listing names, you're learning what motivates each person and how they might react to your project. It helps you identify key stakeholders who need to stay updated. Some people want every detail, others just need major updates. This analysis helps you tailor your communication properly. It reveals negative stakeholders or possible negative impacts. Not everyone will be happy. Some might resist change. Knowing who they are early helps you manage resistance calmly and strategically. It provides measures to influence other stakeholders. You can't control people, but you can plan how to inform, persuade, and involve them. That's the real power of good stakeholder planning. So in short, stakeholder analysis helps you anticipate issues, build stronger relationships, and increase your project's chance of success. Next, let's zoom in on one of the most useful tools for this process, the stakeholder matrix. A stakeholder matrix is a simple visual chart that helps you categorize stakeholders based on two key things: how much influence they have on your project, how much interest they have in your project. The matrix is divided into 4 quadrants. Once you've assessed each stakeholder, you plot them on the graph based on these 2 dimensions. Why does this matter? Because it helps you make smart decisions about where to focus your attention, who to manage closely, and who might need just a quick update. Here's how you actually create and use a stakeholder matrix. 1. Set up your graph. On the x-axis, write stakeholder interest. This shows how much the stakeholder cares about your project. On the y-axis, write stakeholder influence. This shows how much power they have to affect the project's outcome. 2. Plot your stakeholders. Take each stakeholder you've identified and decide where they belong. High interest, high influence. Engage closely and involve them regularly. Low interest, low influence. Just monitor from time to time. Each quadrant tells you something different about how to manage those individuals. This helps you avoid wasting time on low-impact stakeholders, while staying on top of those who could make or break your project. Once your stakeholder matrix is ready, it's time to go a bit further, with 2 next steps to strengthen your analysis and understanding. Step 3. Stakeholder analysis. Create an information matrix. Create another matrix where you list all the stakeholders and plot them against the level of information they currently have and the level they require. This helps you identify knowledge gaps, so you know exactly who needs more updates, who needs in-depth briefings, and who's already well informed. This matrix supports smarter communication planning. You're not just tracking who matters, you're tracking what they know. And step 4. Gather deeper input by talking to people involved in the project. That means running discussions with relevant team members, or conducting interviews with those who interact with stakeholders. These insights can confirm or challenge your assumptions, and often reveal subtle dynamics that help refine your matrix and engagement strategy. Once you've done both matrices, use all your insights to prepare a clear action plan. This is also the final step. Focus especially on stakeholders who may have been affected by your organization's actions, and stakeholders who could potentially harm or delay the project if their concerns aren't addressed. This plan should include who to engage, how often, and what to communicate. It turns your analysis into a real strategy, one that builds trust and helps your project succeed. This brings us to the end of our lesson on innovation and stakeholders. We've taken a good look at what stakeholders really are, not just names on a list, but real people and groups who can shape the outcome of any project. We explored how to identify them, understand their roles, and map out how much they care and how much power they hold. And of course, we looked at practical tools like the stakeholder matrix to help manage those relationships with confidence and clarity. If you're ever unsure, just go back to the basics. Who's involved, who's affected, and who needs to know what. It's all about building the right connections to support your goals. Feel free to ask if anything's still unclear, and see you in the next lesson.